Today, we're going on a pretty amazing journey. We're going to follow the path of a single thought, all the way from the moment it hits your senses to the instant it becomes a big, abstract idea in your mind. And our guide for all this? The brilliant philosopher Thomas Aquinas.
You know, Aquinas was totally fascinated by this fundamental puzzle of how we think. Think about it. You see Fido, right, a golden retriever, wagging his tail. Then you see Rover, a little scruffy terrier. Your senses are only taking in these specific, individual dogs. So how on earth does your mind make that incredible leap to understand a universal idea of dog? An idea that covers every single dog that has ever existed or ever will.
All right, let's dive right in. Here's our game plan. We're going to trace Aquinas' really elegant step-by-step explanation. We'll start with the philosophical problem he's trying to solve, then look at the inner workings of the mind and see how a concept is actually born. And of course, we'll wrap up by looking at why this theory from the Middle Ages is still so incredibly relevant today.
So first up, let's get really clear on the problem Aquinas sets out to solve. It's all about this gap, the one between the world we can touch and see and the world we think and understand.
This slide just lays out the challenge perfectly. On one side, you've got the real, tangible world of individual things. You know, this specific tree with its rough bark and green leaves. But on the other side, you've got the abstract world of ideas, the universal concept of treeness. The big question for Aquinas is, how does our mind build a bridge between these two totally different realms?
So let's get to the starting point for all our knowledge, at least according to Aquinas, our senses. This is where the whole journey from the outside world really begins.
Now, this is a huge break from someone like Plato who thought we were born with these ideas already in our heads. For Aquinas, nope, we're born as a tabula rasa, basically a blank slate. Every single piece of knowledge we have, no matter how complicated, is built from the raw materials our senses give us. Our minds aren't just passive buckets waiting for knowledge, they're active builders, constructing our understanding of the world from the ground up.
Okay. Here's a super important concept. After you look at a dog, your imagination holds on to a mental image of it. Aquinas has a special name for this, a phantasm. Think of it like a rich sensory snapshot, full of all the specific details. The color of the fur, the sound of the bark, everything. This phantasm, this is the essential raw material that your intellect is about to go to work on.
And now for the really cool part, kind of like a magic trick. How does the mind take this very specific, detailed phantasm and somehow pull a universal idea out of it? Well, Aquinas says it takes a special kind of power, almost like a mental light. Think of the active intellect like a powerful spotlight. It shines on that phantasm, that mental picture of one specific dog, and it filters out all the particular details, things like brown fur or floppy ears. What it does instead is it illuminates the essential nature, the universal form of what it means to be a dog. It literally abstracts the dogness from the individual dog.
This quote just captures the power of the active intellect so well. It takes that raw sensory image and does this kind of intellectual alchemy on it. It strips away all the specifics to reveal the universal essence that was hidden inside all along. It makes the phantasm intelligible, which just means it's ready for the final stage of understanding.
Okay, so the active intellect has done its job. It's lit up that universal form. But that form needs a place to land, right? A place to be received and actually understood by you. And this is where the potential intellect comes in. It's the receptive canvas of your mind. At first, it's just a blank slate, but it has the potential to know everything. So when the active intellect presents it with the pure form of dogness, the potential intellect receives it, kind of like a mold being filled. And in that exact moment, your mind is imprinted with the universal concept of dog.
I love this comparison because it shows the beautiful teamwork that's happening here in Aquinas' model. You've got the active intellect, which is the light, the thing that makes the world knowable, and you've got the potential intellect, which is the canvas, the part that actually becomes the idea once it's lit up. They have to work together to create understanding. So let's put all these pieces together and watch the whole elegant process of how a single concept comes to be. And there it is, a totally seamless journey from sensation to understanding. It's amazing, right? Your senses see a dog, your imagination creates that mental image, the phantasm, the active intellect shines its light on it, and the potential intellect receives that universal form. And boom, in a flash, you've gone from seeing one dog to understanding the timeless concept of dog itself.
Now, I know this can all sound like a really complex medieval theory, but the implications are just
Huge. So why should we care about this intricate process today?
At its heart, what Aquinas is really giving us here is a powerful vote of confidence in human knowledge. He's basically arguing that our minds are not just trapped in our own subjective bubble. No, they're perfectly designed to connect with and understand the objective world. Our ability to form these universal concepts is proof of this deep, profound connection.
So when you boil it all down, Aquinas gives us this really dynamic and complete picture of knowledge. Your mind is not just a passive receiver of data, it's an active participant, taking the raw data from the senses and, through its own incredible power, turning it into real, meaningful understanding. It's this beautiful theory that bridges the gap between our minds and our bodies and roots our most abstract thoughts in the rich soil of real-world experience.
Aquinas really leaves us with this inspiring vision. He suggests there's this deep harmony between the way our minds are built and the way reality itself is structured. The world, he's telling us, isn't some chaotic, random mess. It's a meaningful cosmos, perfectly suited for a mind like ours to explore and understand. So the next time you have a thought, just take a second to consider the incredible journey it's been on and the truly remarkable power of the mind that made it all possible.